Hello, my name is Austin, and this is Go Access, a YouTube channel dedicated to disability rights issues and access in higher education. Today, we will be talking about emotional support animals. An emotional support animal can be pretty much any domesticated animal, like a pig, a snake, a rabbit, a cat, or a dog. Emotional support animals do not need certification or to be on a registry. Emotional support animals do not need certification or to be on a registry. An emotional support animal can only be prescribed through a licensed therapist, and there needs to be a documented need for the animal for it to qualify as an emotional support animal. Something that may be surprising is that emotional support animals are not mentioned in the Americans with Disability Act or the Rehabilitation Act. Emotional support animals are protected by the Fair Housing Act and the U.S. federal government's Department of Housing and Urban Development. Emotional support animals are recognized as a reasonable accommodation for people with disabilities. Housing providers should consider these questions as they review an ESA request. Does the person looking to bring an ESA have a disability? Does the person have a need for the animal? Is the person benefited by living with the animal? A landlord can review the owner's documentation for the emotional support animal. A landlord can have their own ESA form and provide it to potential tenants with ESAs so that their therapist can fill out the form. A landlord cannot contact a tenant's therapist directly. Animals do not need to be trained to be emotional support animals. Mandatory registries are illegal. As I previously mentioned, a landlord cannot contact your therapist directly. A landlord cannot force you to disclose your disability or further information. A landlord may reject an ESA if it would cause undue financial burden, like voiding an insurance policy. An emotional support animal supports the person with a disability by just being their pet. Service animals support the person with a disability by performing specialized tasks. Emotional support animals are part of the Air Carrier Access Act. Emotional support animals can fly if the owner has proper documentation from a mental health professional. Emotional support animals can board without additional fees and can sit on the owner's lap or floor. It is important to have the proper documentation ready and to provide it to the airlines early to make sure that everything is in place for your ESA when traveling. ESAs do not have the same protections as service animals. I'm sorry, Snoopy. ESAs have no legal right to be in hotels, motels, or Airbnbs. Owners can ask if they can bring an ESA to a hotel. Owners can show that their animal is behaved and display their medical documentation. Hotels are allowed to charge a pet fee or cleaning fee. Stores can also refuse emotional support animals. There are no protections for emotional support animals in restaurants, shops, and other businesses. Emotional support animal owners can show that their animal is well behaved and has the proper medical documentation. It is up to the store manager to decide whether to allow the ESA. Owners of emotional support animals can present medical documentation and demonstrate that their ESA is well trained. It is up to the business's discretion to decide whether to permit the emotional support animal. Students can request that their emotional support animal be allowed in their dorm by requesting accommodations through the Student Disability Office on campus. The Student Disability Office will evaluate the student's medical documentation. Generally speaking, the Student Disability Office on a college campus will try and determine if the accommodation is reasonable and required. A student having a long or pre-existing relationship with the ESA is not required. However, it can be a good predictor if the student does have a long relationship with the ESA that they will be successful in college and that the ESA will be beneficial. The main focus of the College Disability Office will be on the student's relationship to their doctor and the specific recommendation for an ESA. They will be looking to make sure the ESA is not merely suggested as something that could be beneficial, but that is required and necessary, and that the doctor is specifically recommending an ESA as part of the student's therapeutic plan. As you can see from the pictures below, emotional support animals come in a wide variety of types, but they all provide emotional support for their owners. People with mental health issues like anxiety and depression can benefit by having an emotional support animal that they can form a close relationship with. The animal can help stabilize their mood and provide them with consistent support as they go through their everyday life. This is why it is important that emotional support animals be allowed in housing. Thank you for watching this episode of Go Access. Please like, comment, and subscribe.